It's spring in Iowa, and my grass is now growing at about visual recognition of it's growing that fast. And I gotta go mow later today. So, hello and welcome to Assorted Meeples. I'm Phillip, the Meeple on duty, and today we are talking about a little bit more of an abstract concept, and I'm looking at how long-term gamers kind of snub their noses at gateway games and more simpler games like that. And I started kind of digging into it, and so just kind of talking about what I think and of why that happens. If you're not already, we have a Patreon that is linked to a Discord server, and if you want to join one of the best non-toxic gaming communities out there, and you find our videos and content on our website useful and interesting, go ahead and join us. $1 gets you into the Discord, $5 guarantees you game nights with us, Meeples, and $10 gets you a monthly shout out. There's a link in the description below. Go ahead and just head over there and join in if you want. If you get benefit from this or our content. I also want you guys to comment down below as you listen. If you hear something that kind of sparks either anger, good, or joy, or whatever, confirming thoughts, let me know down in the comments below. Now, back to the thing is, the main reason I think is it's the cognitive development that happens. Now, if you go and research on Google, like just typing in cognitive development board games, you're going to get academic article after academic article. Now, and it's a fun rabbit search to go down, or rabbit hole to go down, just so you know. And it's a lot of academic articles, so if you're not used to reading those, they get a little wordy and a little dense. Most of the research that they've done is entirely to do with either young childhood development, like getting those skills that they want kids to have either physically or mentally, or it's dealing with elderly folks and retaining mental capacity and slowing down like Alzheimer's or dementia and things like that. Not a lot necessarily has gone into the development or the look at of younger players in that medium range and how that affects their skills and stuff like that. So, what does it look like in gamers? Like, kind of how's that progression happen? First off, it kind of starts with the classics like your Sorry, your Uno, even like Rummy and Euchre and games like that. And then it's kind of dipping your toes into these hobby waters of like finding games of Catan, Carcassonne, King of Tokyo. I'd even say like base games of Marvel United. Like these are super easy games. The rules, like Century, either the Gollum edition or Spice Road or whichever one, they have really simple rule sets, and it's real easy to master all the concepts in the game and play at a decently competitive level and still get enjoyment out of it. But pretty soon, as you get into the hobby, you're going to start seeing other games that have more moving pieces, more depth to them. And I'm talking games like Rallyman, Everdell, Raiders of the North Sea, Lords of Waterdeep. Like, there are a lot of rules in these games. A lot of rules where they are altering and changing through the course of the game, and your strategy is not the simple, straightforward strategy that you have been used to. these games are challenging not just you against other players, they are challenging you versus the game as well. Sorry about that. That was a battery change. Where were we? So yeah, after you get through with games that it's not just beating your opponents because it's just a straightforward thing. It's crafting and developing strategies that work in the flow of the game and exploit the game. And they were put in there not necessarily to be exploited, but to create these systems of overflow that if you are looking at it and developing your strategy, it becomes a very big cycle that just creates a monster that other people should be afraid of as you're playing. Finally, a lot of hardcore hobbyists find themselves trying and attempting to master games like Nemo's War, Gaia Project, Paladins of the West Kingdom, and Spirit Island, just to name a few of them. These are heavyweight games with a hard rule set that you really need to understand to be good at the games. It becomes more of a challenge to get the game system under control and beat the game system rather than just beating your opponents, because that's still there, but learning and mastering the game is going to be what puts you ahead of your opponents rather than just blindly stumbling through the games. If you want to see that, you can watch our Table for Two episode of Paladins of the West Kingdom. Me and my wife had no clue what we were doing through the entire game. We understood the concepts, but we didn't understand the game and the systems within the games, because they get very challenging and very hard. And yes, you do have to bend them to your will to really get the game going well. Those systems are there for you to exploit and run. It's just you gotta find them and do that. I think the analogy of like lifting weights for sports and stuff like that is a proper analogy here, where no, you're never going to lift like 300, 400 pounds for a sport out on the field during competition. But you get that strong, so when you hit a 200-pound player, they go flying instead of you. The more games that we explore and try, and in some cases just struggle to learn the strategies and all that, the more gateway games are going to seem simple and easy in perspective. So, in conclusion to what I'm saying to all this stuff, just kind of wrapping it up here real quick. Challenging strategy games are a matter of perspective. Not opinion, of perspective. If you are new to the hobby, some of the games that are what people will dismiss as simple games for you may be challenging because you haven't developed that tool set to be good at them. And when you play a harder game than you are used to, you are developing a skill set that will allow you to be better, not just at that game, but the other games that you've played as well. When you get used to playing games and tearing them apart and to see how they work, like Braden's really good at this one. I am not so much. Braden learns how to break a game. He games the game, and I don't work that way. I just enjoy playing games, and Braden likes to break it down and see how the strategy works and how to really make a game do everything and more that the creators wanted and or intended to do. But yeah, the harder games that you try, the greater the skill set you're going to have for strategy games and understanding the strategy of the games you're playing. As always, And most importantly, play the games that spark life in you. If that is competition games and playing games very competitively against your friends and everybody at the table is in on this, awesome. Go for it. Have fun. I love playing at that level. If you sit down at a table and it's just we're here for a social time over a game and hanging out and just being close to people, understand that and play at that level. And if that's your level, that's amazing. I love playing those games. About 50 to 70% of the games that I play are that level where I'm trying to win, but it's more about the people that I'm playing with than winning the game at its core. Also, know the table that you are joining in. And if that is not a table that you mesh well with, obviously finish the game you've started, change the style that you're playing, and figure out if there's a better table for you to be sitting at. So it's really all I had. Like I said, comment down below with your thoughts on this one, and I will see you later. Bye.
If you like what you just saw, please support us by hitting that like button and subscribing to our channel for more great gaming content.